Mayor here, my co-host Brent Locke on the other side of me. Welcome to the Strive 305 Lockdown Fitness Podcast. We are extremely excited today at the guest we have, but before we get to her, I got to do my thank yous. Thank you, Mayor Levine Cava, for giving us the Strive 305 initiative. Thank you, Manny Sid, for giving us the Strive 305 initiative. Brent, I'm not supposed to mention Manny's name, as you know, but I mentioned it because without him, we wouldn't be here. Thank you to Wells Fargo for the Strive 305 website. And thank you to Grant and Michael Miller for the studios, for community news, and for everything we do. Something I found out about these two guys.
What?
They always give back. It's incredible.
They do?
Yes. You wouldn't believe how much everything they do is to help people. I thought they were like business moguls. They are, but I guess they've gone beyond because now all they do is give back to the community.
Right.
So I love those guys. All right, but now let's get to our guest. We have Sabrina Hernandez Cano. Yes?
Thank you.
I don't know if to call her doc. She has like 82 initials
Yeah,
after
so
her
many
name.
back behind.
No,
Right.
it's
That's the
simple.
same
It's
thing.
a registered dietitian.
Yeah.
Trending these days because back in the day it was like, what is a registered dietitian? But these days everyone's interested in nutrition. So
Yeah, we got a big problem with this guest. Everybody be aware there's going to be, it's that she has too much knowledge and in the 30 minutes we have, we're not going to be able to get it out of all of it. So we're going to do our best to give you
Got to cram it all in there.
whatever's the most important.
Yeah.
But before we do, again, let Brent Locke, everybody knows Brent Locke, our fitness, our trainer, my trainer actually. So if you need a good trainer, if I can take off my clothes right now and show you how good he is. So he's your guy, South Miami.
This guy, man.
The South Miami area.
He's a mess, isn't he?
Sabrina's from the South Miami area too. And Brent,
Yes, sir.
kick it off. Well, tell us, Sabrina.
Wait,
Tell us,
originally
I know
from
you have a
Hialeah,
book.
because you've had other people from Hialeah. So originally
Yes,
from
I know.
Hialeah, you always have to like give it back to where you were.
We're both
really
originally Hialeah. I'm now North Hialeah, like they
Yeah,
like to
North
call it.
Hialeah.
Or Grant calls it Miami Lakes.
North Hialeah.
She's a South Miami girl now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, before we do any
for
of that.
30 years now.
We have I want to make another announcement. Two more announcements.
What happened?
We have a sponsor today. I forgot about our sponsor,
Oh,
BB's
man.
Bakehouse.
Making me hungry.
Yeah.
That looks so yummy.
Yes. So we have our world famous Tico Poop Emoji cookie on one side. We have her sister on the other side, the pistachio poop emoji. We have what is it, matcha?
It's a matcha tea.
A matcha tea, protein
green
tea.
tea.
I don't know what matcha, but apparently it
filled with
has
antioxidants.
30 grams of protein, this one,
this
and
one right here?
antioxidants. That's what she
All
could
right.
tell you about. And my little coffee cup, which I've already drank the whole thing.
Yum.
So
When
we have
can we
that.
have that?
Oh my God, we could do it during the
you
show.
have food for in front of a dietitian. You know, dietitians love food. We love to eat. So bring that closer.
We'll do it during the
I
show.
love it.
This is about food love.
The other one is, I want to announce it now before we forget, your sister is having an event. Your sister is the owner
Yes,
of two
yes.
famous restaurants.
Well,
Go ahead, tell us.
it's actually going to be an Italian experience event. You know, I spent 3 months in Italy. I went to study the language. Yo parlo italiano, me piace
we go.
molto.
Uh-oh.
Sì.
You hear
One of
that?
those eat, pray, love moments.
I did. It
She
was
win.
actually it started in Italy, went into India,
awesome.
and finished it in Qatar because I had already been to Bali. So I highly recommend this to anybody who just wants some experience. You know. So I wanted to bring the experience, and my sister said, "Why don't you have it at the actual restaurant at Silver Lake on the beach?" So it'll be April 26th.
There you go.
We're going to be having an Italian experience. There's going to be el aperitivo, and we're going to go into primero, secondi, and dolci, plato. And then I'm going to give it's going to be a wellness seminar
Oh, you're kidding.
All right.
with food so that people, can have that beautiful, loving experience of eating with pleasure and understanding that there's a balance, moderation, and variety. You can have the body you want. You can be fit, but you could still have, focaccia.
Oh,
You can have
We
la
can have
dolce
focaccia.
vita.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but it sounds good.
Oh, focaccia is this delicious, yummy, soft, moist, warm bread with they do little polka dots in it. Actually, I went to cooking school in Italy, so I learned how to make focaccia. You make little dents in it, and then you pour olive oil on it and a little oregano, and you're like in heaven. And then they have focaccia of like sardines. They have onion focaccia, olive focaccia. And this is like the nature in Italy for breakfast. They do not have like your eggs. The first week, I was like, where can I find eggs for breakfast? And there's no eggs. They're like, what are you talking about? You're either going to get a cafe, a cappuccino, cappuccino or focaccia. That's the extent of breakfast. Most of Europe, but mainly in Italy, in Sesti Levanti, in the area where I was at, which is the area of Liguria or Genova, the mountains, the beach, the ocean. It was mind-blowing beautiful. If you've never been to Italy, you have to go. But if you've never been to that area, like the Cinque Terre, where you just see mountains and ocean all at the same time, it's incredible. And it's great for hiking and biking and a lot of fit people. It's so interesting because I ate pasta more than I had ever eaten pasta in my life. And I came back and I was like leaner, lighter. My legs were huge. But I was hiking, mountains, and I was walking every day to, everywhere. Everybody else is biking, but I didn't have a bike. I was actually walking to school, walking everywhere. So, we're in Miami, we can walk, but we just don't because we take our cars. But when I came back, it was so silly for me to understand. I have my grocery store is like 2 blocks away. And in 30 years that I've been living in this area, I have never walked to the grocery store. So I'm going to get one of those little carts.
And walk to the store.
Yeah, because they just closed it right now. I'm a local from here. I feel like I'm down the street. So they just are opening up a new one down the street. And I'm going to start, walking. You just have to change your behavior is really what it's all about.
So with that experience, did you indulge, as we would say, more into the foods that you enjoy more? You just said bread. I'm pretty sure type pasta, eat that every day. The difference was you just exercise more? Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely. And it was, it's just their culture. It's everywhere. And also, as a student, we would go places like to have, pizza. So I found myself having pizza maybe twice, for dinner. And these pizzas are not just regular pizzas. Some of them have this delicious, different hams and pistachio. My favorite one was goat cheese and walnuts. It's so delicious. Oh my God, that was amazing. So I was getting my good omega-3s from those walnuts. I was getting, the nice cheese and protein. It's just so delicious. But then I'd have to walk every day. I averaged about 16 to 20,000 steps. And here in Miami, when I looked at my history, that's nowhere near, walking. Right. For us, we have to go to a gym or we have to make it a point to do something. For them, it's lifestyle. For them, it's like, we're going to go to aperitivo. And I'm like, what is aperitivo? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, no, yeah, we're going to go up on that mountain. There's this place that serves the focaccia and the Aperol Spritz or a glass of wine. And I was like, oh, yeah, but wow, I just got here to eat this, but I just, did 10,000 steps to make it here because I had to climb a mountain or I had to walk here to the aperitivo. So it was kind of interesting. It was like you just relax on food issues with calories because you're like, I'm burning it. So if we all exercised more, if we were all burning more calories, just walking our neighbor, I just got a puppy. So I'm a little bit I
heard about that.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, you talking about
Buttercup.
Not Buttercup.
So I'm a little tired, but everyone had a little doggy in Italy. Everyone. Not in India, not in Qatar. I didn't see any dogs in those countries. But in Italy, everyone had the cutest little doggy. So I got a Bichon poodle. I know. I swore up and down. I've had 3 German Shepherds. I've had so many animals and so many dogs in my life. And I came to a place in my life where I'm like, I love to travel. I'm not going to have an animal. I come back from Italy and what do? I'm having this day where I'm like, what can be better than Italy and India and Qatar? What can be better? Because I can't leave. I got to work. Like a puppy. So I got Buttercup. She's this big, and she's literally
What do you
butter.
say about that?
And I'm going to walk her every day.
I saw the dog.
I can justify it. I can justify it. I'm going to be, because everybody was like, are you
walking partner. She's making herself. I'm good.
Yeah, she's got my hair.
Oh my
so
God.
Cute. I should have brought her. I'll bring her to the next show.
Have as you keep going, talks more than me, right? More energy than me.
It's a little bit more educating.
Well,
I'm sorry,
still.
brother.
But you wanted to talk about all kinds of
Yes,
I'm going to segue into what you're saying. Can we on this side of the world eat the same way
like this
and achieve the same results?
Yes. Moderation, variety, and balance. Those are not sexy words. I've been a dietitian for 35 years, and we always want to make one of the major food groups a villain. So back in the day, I was in my early 20s and I had just started my career. It was like fat free. Then they had fat free cookies and fat free because fat was the demon.
Right.
You know, our young people today that are into fitness have no clue what I'm talking about. But it was, you did not touch fat. Fat was like a bad thing. And then nowadays it's carbs. People come to my office and they're like mortified. They're like, I haven't touched rice in a week. I don't do any bread. I don't do any pasta. Please forgive me. Like 3 days ago, I did have like a little tiny cracker.
Right.
And I'm like, no, it's okay. You know, it's okay. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. It's just that we went to the extreme. So basically, you know, humans, we're either here or we're here on everything. Relationships, you know, either you're like the super cleanest person or you're like the messiest person. Can't we have a balance, you know, is really where we should be. And with food, it's the same thing. We should really not be so extreme that we get depressed. And that's what I'm seeing today. I'm seeing people that are not eating sufficient healthy carbohydrates and are getting sick. Their hair's falling out. They have no focus whatsoever. They have, you know, absolutely no joy in their life, because when you cut out carbohydrates, you're cutting out, first of all, there are 6 groups of food, you're cutting out 4. You're saying, I'm not having fruit, I'm not having vegetables, I'm not having whole grains, and I'm going to completely, you know, eliminate lactose. So that's where a lot of nutrition comes from, vitamins, minerals, and then those, I'll just pop a vitamin. Vitamins that you pop in your mouth from sources like pills do not get absorbed the same. And a lot of them put a huge burden on your kidneys. So now you're like popping pills, which your kidneys, you know, may not make it past the age of 60. You know, you're going to end up with kidney problems, you know, when you're older, because you're shoving so many supplements that you have no idea. And the mills that are producing this, the manufacturing mills with a different marketing, since, you know, you're like such an expert in marketing, what they do, and I've been in these mills because I have been one of them. Back 25 years ago, I had a whole line of all kinds of stuff. And, you know, what I saw was that what they do is that they put just a different label on it. So basically you're buying, and then I did this with protein. I had also, before COVID, I had a protein shake. And when I went in to develop my protein shake, they were like, well, it'll cost you this much to develop, you know, a basic protein, you know, 20 grams of protein. There's not a lot to building a protein. You put some vitamins and that's it. You have a protein, right? And then, you know, there's a few tweaks, whether it's going to be soy-based, whether it's going to be, you know, vegan, or whether it's going to be whey. But basically, they're all the same with a different, you know, so
label, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So I stepped out and I said, no, this is not what I wanted. And I created, back before there were green supplements, I put all greens, all reds. It was probiotic. People didn't understand it.
Yeah,
So it was way
that was
before
big.
COVID. They did great. But once they were gone, same thing, like, you know, it's so expensive to manufacture something like that. And also, you know, there's the idea that, you know, what am I here for? Am I here for, you know, people wanting to spend, you know, on a bottle of protein, or taking that money and going and buying yourself, you know, really nice, you know, chicken, steak, and real food, you know. So we were talking a little while ago about the Maslow's, you know, a hierarchy of needs. There comes a point in your life that you're like, what am I here for as a nutritionist, really?
Right.
You know, I'm having more of a, you know, I want people to spend their money on food, not so much throw away their money on so much supplements. I mean, there's a great place for supplements. Don't get me wrong. I've had them in the past, and you know, they're good. They have a place, but we should not just rely on that. And we should, going back to the carbohydrate issue, we should just be balanced with them. You know, we should have enough carbohydrates in our day where you have enough energy to want to go to the gym and to not have depression, anxiety. A lot of the doctors that send me patients, which they're so smart, the psychologists, the psychiatrists, they send me, you know, this younger new group of patients that they're wanting to not put on medications for depression because they realize these people are not getting good nutrition. And if they had good nutrition, then they will feel better. Right. And boom, so you're getting omega-3s in your brain. Now you don't need, you know, nothing against, you know, some of these depression medications, you know, but now you don't need them, you see? So, you know, you have to nourish the brain. You have to nourish the cells, and we can't leave carbs out. And I think in a few years, because we're being so hyper protein oriented, we're going to blow our kidneys. And then when that's done and everybody's tired, our kids who are doing all the protein, right? Our, young generation is doing heavy protein, when they mess up their kidneys or when they're tired of that, or when we run out of, chickens and we run out of eggs and we run out of cows, what's going to happen? It's like, oh, protein is the devil now. It's like we're always like trying to, and then what's going to be next? I can predict already. We're going to become a vegan society because everybody's like, don't hurt the cow, don't eat the protein, it's going to be bad for your kidneys. So you see, it's recycling over and over. And I'm old enough, and I've been around 35 years already, and my academy, who governs me, the Dietetics and Nutrition, the Academy of Dietetics and Nutrition, is over 100 years. And they've been saying the soft message for so many years. Balance. That's not sexy. Variety. Get a variety of foods. And moderation. I mean, when we get there, I think then we will be, as a society, so much healthier. Because right now we're just pushing of the three major groups, fat, carbs, or protein, nobody knows what to do now with fat. Now the government just flipped the whole pyramid upside down.
Right, we just spoke about it, yeah.
And they said, all of a sudden, butter is okay and so good for you, and so is red meat. We've never said that butter is bad for you. Butter has always been good for you. I've eaten it for all my life. But have you eaten it in moderation? So now what's happening is that people are, I named my little puppy Buttercup just to, be in trend, because butter is in trend now. But butter is trending.
Kidding.
And so is red meat, And it's not that, we shouldn't have red meat or butter, but now don't go off and eat all the red meat that you want, because you will stuff your arteries. Like, men need about 20 to 25, depending. If you're a marathon runner, you can probably push 30, 40 grams of saturated fat a day. Women need about 15 to 20. But what happens after that, and I can speak with a lot of experience from this because I worked in cardiac rehab at Baptist Hospital for 10 years. And I would sit with the surgeons, and talk to them about what they just did, because that patient now came to me for cardiac rehab nutrition therapy. And basically the doctors would say, I just spent, 2 or 3 or 4 hours, like a vacuum cleaner cleaning out arteries because they were stuffed. And I was like, doctor, what are they stuffed with? And they would say, yeah, they're stuffed with a lot of fat. Saturated fat, that gets accumulated because when your body doesn't know what to do with something, also protein, it starts building problems. Like all these people who have kidney issues now that we're seeing, in the ER, and it's because they're doing crazy things with protein that they bust their kidneys can't handle. Same thing with the arteries. Back then, people had stuffed arteries. So when you look at ice cream, for example, some of our creamiest, most delicious ice creams have up to 20 grams of saturated fat, what you need for the whole day, and half a cup. They, we can't police people, and we will never be able to police people.
So eating a pint of ice cream,
I guess a pint's not going to be, suggesting.
Definitely not moderation, definitely not balance.
Right.
And then we get into an emotional eating state where people are doing this because they have such a mess in their life. So when you have a problem in your life, the first thing that is easy is a pacifier. You're going to want a pacifier.
Right.
When you were a baby, you cried, pacifier. As adults, you're free to go off and get, ice cream, cake. And over the years, I've had so many patients tell me, I ate it before anybody got home. I opened up the box of cereal and I just couldn't stop eating it, or I hid it underneath the car before I got home so nobody could see me. So there's a lot of emotional eating out there because the only thing that we have control over is what you put in your mouth and what you swallow. No one can actually anybody can manipulate you to do absolutely anything or everything. You sit and you watch Instagram for a while and you'll be like me. I'm a product of heading to Italy because I saw so many beautiful Italian stuff. It was back here in my subconscious.
You were like, I'm going.
Right. So you look at, enough crap, after a while, and you're going to want that. So it's the same thing. Your life is a mess. You're not happy, and you have ice cream in the freezer and you're going to go and you're going to want to overeat because you're not in a happy state. So again, moderation, behavior. And that's, as a dietitian, what I find myself working so much with patients these days. People know what to eat. We all know broccoli and salmon, will do you well.
Sex, not that comforting. It doesn't satisfy the need. With that being said, because my personal experience with the clients I have, I would say 80% of them are anxious eaters. Right? When they get stressed out, they need to have something. And I've known them to say, I don't even realize I'm eating that because it's a norm. When they feel a certain way, they do that. what is your suggestion? Because I've made mine, but I want to hear yours.
They're
What is
starving.
yours? Wait, before she does yours,
Yeah.
what is yours?
Well, I always say, if you need to be anxious, fine. Have something there that's healthy, that is satisfying for you. So rather having that cracker, get a popcorn, or try carrots, something that's crunchy, something that satisfies that crunch or that need. If it's something salty, like I said, try popcorn. Something that's healthy that can replace it. Because rather than saying don't do it, let's replace it. That's my mindset of trying to replace something. Because if I'm going to take this out, I need to put something in. Because if not, I'm going to find something else. That's a mindset. So with that being said,
I'm going to back that one up like a Tonka truck.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm going to back that one up.
Good.
That's amazing. You can't have somebody not have an alternative
Correct.
to something
Yes.
and expect them to succeed. So if you have better choices, and that goes, back to the grocery store. When you're in the grocery store, take one or two things out. I still do that. 35 years practicing what I preach. And when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, I love, but I don't need that particular. I'm going to hold off on brands, but because then if not, I just don't want anybody
Don't
to
put
think that
yourself
I
out
am
there.
here to promote anybody's brand. But boy, do I love that. And many times I say I don't need it, and if you don't need it, don't eat it, right? So in
that's
the
good.
grocery store, if you make that decision of like, let me just take it out, and you know what, the raspberries were on sale, so let me just go circle back to my raspberries and let me grab these raspberries. They had,
Yeah.
buy one, take one, whatever.
right.
And then at least I know that when I go home, I may not be the happiest, character, in the fair, but at least when I get home, I don't have the like,
Yeah.
because I know myself.
Right.
It's another very important point.
Right.
You have to know your hours, your witch's hours.
That's right. Knowing you, exactly.
I know for me, like between 3 and 5 are my witch's hours. And it's so funny. I've asked my mom, like, when I was a baby, when was I like, did I cry? Like, she's like, yeah, in between like meals.
Wow.
Like if you didn't get fed. So between 3 and 5, think about it. I've had breakfast. I love breakfast. I love my lunch, okay? And I know my dinner's coming like 5, 6, whatever. But between 3 and 5, 6, or 7, my body's going, I need something, especially if I'm working out. Right now I'm doing Pilates, I'm doing Orange Theory. And I will mention those brands, Polar Star, and because I love that these people are open. You want to make sure that fitness places stay open because there's so many people that need places like that, different places. They need trainers like you to help them, to guide them. And so ever since I came back, I've been trying to stay true to, going to these places. So if I'm working out in the morning, I'm at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to want something.
That's right.
Right? So that's my witch's hours. What happens is if I don't have something healthy available, I am going to, grab the bag of whatever it was that ended up in my house for Christmas, that somebody gave me.
Yep.
It's just going to be like, oh, it's so good.
Right. And that's something.
So you have to be prepared. You
Yeah.
have to have stuff, and it all starts in the grocery store. And it all starts with meal prepping. Meal prepping will become the future because if you take 1 or 2 days to actually cook, whatever it is, if you're practical like me, I mean, some people love to go home and gourmet cook every day, and I like bow down to the people who love to cook every day. If you don't have that kind of time, you need to have at least 7 pieces of chicken, and maybe 2 pieces of, salmon. And then you need to have something that's a base. I love my base to be like, let's say a quinoa. And quinoa, everybody says ew, but you don't know how to make quinoa.
That's right.
All you need to do is, instead of using water, you need to use chicken broth or bone broth to make your quinoa. Now it's tasty, right? Because quinoa is a grain. It doesn't taste
Yep,
like
doesn't
anything.
taste like
But it's the
anything at all.
only grain out there that I can honestly stand behind and say it has omega-3, it has protein, it has all the vitamins, all the minerals. It's so healthy.
Very.
It's like sad not to have it. So we need to like make that. So you create that quinoa bowl with chopped up anything. I don't know if you've noticed that, but when things are chopped up tiny, they're so easy to eat. So you chop up all the vegetables, you make it in bone broth, you add some garlic and some onions, and you have it there. And whenever you're hungry, you have your chicken breast that's like semi-cooked or whatever. You have that, and then you pop frozen vegetables are the best. They're actually the first vegetables taken in the farms. So they're the people who actually have the brand for frozen vegetables. They are first in the farmlands. and they pay top dollar. So you notice that when you open up a bag of frozen vegetables, they're perfect. And they're the right colors. And that's because they're given number one. Everybody else comes afterwards. So frozen vegetables are never, ever sprayed with anything. They don't have to preserve them in the ways that others have to be preserved because they're picked and they're rinsed and they're chilled immediately. So, and frozen.
Did you
I had no
hear
idea.
that, America?
Frozen
Yes.
vegetables
Frozen
and
vegetables.
fruits are pristine.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And
I've
so
just
if
learned
you
something new
always have them available to you, well, I actually had the honor of going to the farms and actually seeing this with my own eyes 25 years ago as a nutritionist.
Got it.
This is part of like going through the academy is like you get exposed to all these, things. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness. So the top companies that have those labels, and again, I don't want to promote anybody. I mean, I have blessings with what I have today, so I'm not going to, mention brands because then they want you to, talk for them or whatever. But the point is that all these brands that have frozen fruits and vegetables, these people are paying top dollar to be in line, and they're giving you the very best. So take advantage of it. Man. And if you always have fresh, like a frozen broccoli in your refrigerator, you will be more likely than looking at the broccoli that you have that had to like first sit in the farmland before the farmer came and got it. Then they have to sit in your refrigerator. And then it's already getting moldy because it's been a week and you didn't really eat the broccoli. And then it's getting like hairy, and then you're like, you know what, forget it, I'm not gonna eat the broccoli. And you throw away the broccoli. And you throw away so much money in vegetables that when you go back to the grocery store, you're like, I'm not buying vegetables anymore because they end up in the trash can.
She's
Bro,
right.
that's 100%
That
true.
is absolutely.
And the fruit. Tell me about the mushy fruit, and you're like, I forget it. This apple looks like it's gonna die, and it's gonna kill me once I eat it.
Like this weekend it happened. I had a bag of salad and she was going to throw it away. My wife was going to throw it away because she's, no, I go, no, I'll eat it because I'm not buying any more salad because
Right.
you don't eat. So I ate it half ground, so she would buy it again.
So she would buy it again.
And at that point, you can get sick because this stuff grows mold.
Could explain why I was in the bathroom. Okay, can I ask a question before you keep going? Okay. So everything you've mentioned, I've listening to it. It's so funny. There was a time in my life that I was walking around with a bag of pasta, like it was popcorn, because carbs were the things you needed as a bodybuilder. It was the thing. So I would boil a whole box of pasta, and then I'm going, let me go healthy. So I would get spinach pasta, like that minute, and I would boil it and walk around. You could add in a big Ziploc, and whenever I needed a snack, I would eat boiled pasta. That was my snack, because carbs were the things to eat for power strength. But then when the whole bodybuilding and competition stuff happened, they train you to eat or teach you to eat 6-7 times a day, multiple times a day. Talk about that. Is that good? Is that bad? Because apparently the reasoning being in a low level, not high tech, the way intellectual. If you're eating every 2 or 3 hours, the body is not retaining or restoring fat because you're constantly feeding it. The body stores fat when you're not eating enough because you're starving it, so it freaks out, starts storing fat to feed itself in the future. So if you eat 6-7 times a day, you're not storing fat and your metabolism is sped up, you're burning more calories. I don't know if it's true or not, but when I told myself...
I remember
I said, I'm never going to be able to look like that because I want Sylvester Stallone, I want to look like that, but I'm a chubby kid, I'll never look like that.
You did.
And this guy turned me into that, and I refused to take anything, drugs or anything, to see if it was true.
So you're the guy.
No, he's
it
talking
was
about another guy.
Yeah,
Okay,
the guy,
no, but
he's
still-
with them now. They work together now.
Yeah, no, I was
Funny enough.
always impressed by that. I was like, because that's a sport. That is a sport.
It is a sport.
And it's eating very, very, it's a discipline. So you do have to eat, as that you described.
Specific foods, yeah, but it included rice.
Yeah.
and
Sweet
proteins.
potato and chicken, lots
Sweet
of
potato,
chicken.
Yeah.
I remember.
Fish.
I did quinoa.
And
I
meat.
did a lot of quinoa.
I remember you
And
drove
oatmeal.
Mylene crazy.
Yes, and she would send you the diets to make sure they were acceptable by you.
And I was like, if he's an athlete and he's going for that, and then I would look at the pictures and I would say, we can't argue with his body, so just let him be.
No, but it's that, because that's what I preach. People always ask me, oh, how do I do it? How do you do it? I go, the first thing
But
I
that's
want them
not
to do, I tell them, the first thing I want you to do is eat every 2 or 3 hours. I don't care what you eat, but once you get into that rhythm, then call me and I'll tell you how to improve what you're eating, fix the foods.
Yeah.
But the key is that, is that true or not?
It's the magic word, is it practical? If you're an attorney and you're working in an office, or you're a doctor and you're in surgery, or, you're a teacher, let's talk about the teachers who don't have time to eat. It's impractical. So some people head out to do great things with their diet, and eating every 3 to 4 hours will keep you from having anxiety to want to overeat and all that. True. But you got to walk around with your little bag, and it isn't practical.
It was very difficult.
Right, it is.
Spend all day Sunday cooking to cover 3 days only, because if not, it gets cold. And then on Wednesday, the same thing.
For athletes, I think it's not sustainable, as Brent was saying. You know, it's something that if you want to do for a short period of time in your life, it might suit you very well. We as humans, you know, have to remember that we're all individual. So what I practice is medical nutrition therapy, very individualized. So individualized medical nutrition therapy. So it's so funny because I come back from Italy and I start getting, you know, patients to come see me, and then I see one and I was so happy, and you know, the plan I map out, you know, people's, you know, I address everything that has to do with mental, spiritual. People think they're coming for me to tell them what to eat in front of them. And nutrition is not just the plate that you're putting in front of yourself. It's what you nurture yourself with. So when you leave my office, you're going to have nurtured your brain, you know, intellectually, spiritually, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, we go through all these body parts. And, you know, it's so interesting how one patient that was recommending the other patient and they're recommending the other patient, their plans, their entire plans were so different, so extremely different one from the other. And then one of them, because she had already seen the plan from the other one, that's why she ended up in my office. She's like, but you didn't recommend for me this, and you have something completely different for me, and I'm happy with it, but I can't believe, and I didn't realize that I do that. It's so unique and different. And I think that's what I've trained my dietitians. I'm a preceptor for many of the universities for dietitians. And over the years, I've told them, listen, don't ever think, like you mentioned menopause. We were going to touch on menopause. I said, when you talk about menopause, you cannot assume that every single woman's menopause is anything the same. So for example, you can have like an athlete. So you can have an athlete that eats well, has incredible fitness, great body, okay? So what are we going to refer to him as, like a male, you know, yeah, he's a male who is fit, who's extra. Menopause is the same thing. So everybody has to go through menopause, right? It's part of the life cycle that you get to, but not everybody's menopause is going to be the same. So I'll give you an example. You can have someone who has the highest sexual peak in her entire life at menopause. And you can have someone who has no sexual drive at menopause, but you can also have a 25-year-old that doesn't have any sexual appetite also. So when you look at menopause, you have to ask the question, what order or disorder is this woman's life in? Is it, if you're obese, we're going to start right there. Body composition to me is foremost, number one, and you start there. Any doctor, any physician will understand and tell you the same thing. They get a patient who has obesity. Let's use this woman that we are going to describe with menopause. They come to the doctor's office, and here you have a woman weighing 250 pounds, right? 250 pounds, she's 5 feet. She's obviously obese. She's going through menopause. Her menopause, right, is very different than the next patient who's got the same age, all in her 50s, but this other one has been working out. She's same thing, 5 feet, but she's weighing 125 pounds. She looks great. She's eating healthy. So this woman's menopause is very different than your obese. So we have to start with cleaning up the house first. It's like wanting to, you know, put beautiful white furniture in a room that's full of rubbish because you just did construction. You've got to clean up the crap first. And the crap is a body composition that doesn't work. And basically body compositions that don't work for a woman, let's say in menopause, is anything over 50 pounds of fat. If you're carrying around excess 50 pounds of fat, okay? Let's say you've got 100, which is amazing, 100 pounds, and this is what I do with my Sika technology machines. I separate fat mass from muscle mass. So I show the woman, I'm like, great, you have 100 pounds of muscle. Or I'll be like, oh my God, you have 80. You have muscle mass like a 70 or 80-year-old who never worked out. You're in trouble. You're going to have disease. But if I have 100 pounds of muscle and then I have, let's say, 70 pounds of fat mass, I'm like, no, these 70 pounds of fat, right? Now we know, we've described them, we can see them. They need to go down below 50 because anything above 50, you're going to see metabolic problems. You're going to see diabetes. You're going to see high blood pressure. All of a sudden, no. You're carrying an extra 20 pounds on your body that are fat is inflammatory and oxidative. That's exactly what you are producing. So when you have excess fat on your body that doesn't belong, I'm not talking about the cute, I'm thick, I'm adorable, I've got the fat in the right places kind of fat. I'm talking about the fat, especially around your abdominal area, which is visceral fat, which is what's going to spike your health issues. And today's health issues, metabolic disease, is all about excess fat on the body. So this is why I have so many referrals from all these doctors that are saying, listen, first and foremost, we need to get the fat off of this patient. So I'm going to send them to you before I recommend diabetes medication, high blood pressure medication, because really what it is that your kidneys were made to produce function for a certain amount of fat. Your heart is here to work for a certain amount of fat. You're not supposed to be carrying two human beings on you, So what we are forcing our bodies in the last 50 years is to produce, like you're actually telling kidneys, produce your function for two humans. No, you need to, if anybody comes to me wanting to eat healthy, I'm like, listen, we need to address the fact that you have excess fat on your body. And metabolically, this is what is causing your blood pressure. So we address the root cause based on the obviously technology that I have that I can see these things. I also measure phase angle. Phase angle is the level of somatic cells, how healthy, the quantity and the quality of your cells. So we can actually see with these tests whether people are so, dehydrated and so poor nutrition. We can actually see this today in technology. And so this is some of the things that
I don't want to be scanned.
you get scanned and you get healthy though, because then I see my patients normally, it depends. If they're completely in need, I'll see them every 2 weeks. If not, once a month is enough, because it gives a month so that you can go back and change your behavior, get yourself really working hard. And also I have, over the years, I have developed something that when I see a patient does not progress, I either find them the right course of action, like they need a psychiatrist, they need a psychologist, or they need something else. They need to get a divorce. They need to clean up their act. They need to change their jobs. I've seen people in careers that have sat down and have cried for half an hour before I can get them to eat broccoli, and salmon, because the issue with them is that they're so miserable that they're not going to clean up their nutrition. Because remember, again, going back to the hierarchy of needs of Maslow, you want to be safe and you want to be your physical needs, right, need to be met. And if you're in a place where you feel unsafe, like let's say a job or a relationship or your friends or you're lonely or you're just miserable, you're not going to feed yourself right. You're not going to live a healthy life. So unless you have like those needs being met, you're not going to be happy. So sometimes before I get somebody to eat healthy, I have to, get them to change their environment, change their spirituality, change their basically their life, because they're not happy, they're not healthy, and that's okay.
Final question, because we're already out of time.
We haven't even started. I have a book.
No, I want to ask you, the elephant in the room, what about injectable weight loss medications, which is the fad now? Do you prescribe them? Do you recommend them? Are you against them? Go.
Okay, so to answer, doctors are the ones that prescribe. Registered and licensed dietitians do not prescribe. We can definitely advise. They have a place. They have a place in people's lives. So I do believe that you have to get to the bottom line. You have to get to eliminate the fat. And these medications are here to really help people before they go to the other extreme, which is to have bariatric surgery, which, a large part of my practice is bariatric surgery. So bariatric surgery is when your stomach is so big that no matter what happens, you need to cut that stomach to be small so that you can now get relief. So I work with 300 400, 500 pounders. For the last 15 years, we were having bariatric surgery on people who had lower BMIs as well, who needed to lose maybe 50 pounds, 75 pounds. And, they tried the diet, and then you know how it is. You go to the baby shower, you go to the bridal shower, you go to here, you go there, you go to the party, you go out, and you messed it up, and then rinse and recycle. Comes Monday, and you're like, I'll start Monday, and then that never comes, and 10 years pass, and you're still fat. So the issues with bariatric surgery was amazing because it really helped people gain control, because if you have a very large stomach and now you have a small one, you get some relief, right? You can still gain the weight back, So it's all about behavior. And that's what I'm seeing with the injectables today. They have a great place, but you still need to change the behavior because you use the injection. You cannot use the injections forever.
That's right.
Because you can get pancreatitis, you can develop all kinds of stuff. Plus, at the end of the day, you need to eat. Otherwise, you're going to get sick.
That's
so
right.
you need to have nutrition. People are confusing, food with like being an evil. Food is life. Food is amore. Food is, what's going to give you joy. Like if you're properly nurtured, you're going to want to do things in life. It's like a tree.
That's right.
Take away from a tree water, take away from a tree nutrients, and you're going to have a bad tree. And at the end, you're just going to end up throwing away the tree because there's no coming back from that. And that's what happens with poor nutrition. Sometimes people get so sick from not having proper nutrition and proper antioxidants. Like I'm huge on antioxidants. And that's why I wrote the book based on Dr. Cao, which is back from the 80s, used to work from the National Anti-Aging and the USDA. He was from China. And he said, listen, you guys are all like concentrating on vitamins, but what about the power of the antioxidants in actual foods, right? And this was not sexy. And finally, I get to, I said, I'm going to write the book because if nobody else is talking about it, maybe in 10 years, people will start listening. I feel like I'm always like a little trending. Like, I had my protein shake, 20 years ago. I had the first protein bar, but that's besides the point. But I'm always like ahead of the trend. And antioxidants will be the future. And I'll tell you why. When we compare foods that have super value, right? If I asked you, what do you think of all the foods has like the medicinal power to take, this is your cell, this is a toxin, right? Toxins encapsulate cells and become what? The C word no one wants to talk about, right? Everybody's afraid of like cancer. Well, cancer is toxins, right? It's very confusing because it's got to do with your DNA. It's got to do with, so many factors, your environmental factors. So cancer's complex, right? And thank God. And that's, I've been on here in this station talking about cancer because I have 3 other books that I've written about cancer with my author, Cindy Papali Hammondtree. And we were at one point saying, so much cancer is happening because people are not eating right. We used to say that back then, but I used to get told, you can't say that. You can't really say that. So I'm from the era that, you have to be a good girl. If you're a nutritionist, you better stick to what you do. You better not start talking about how, disease and food come together. Now it's okay. Now I can start, thank God. I'm about to retire already. Right. And it's finally, we're allowed by government, by politics, by everybody who governs us.
Speak about something.
Food is medicine.
Yes.
So let's talk about it.
How many times we said this?
Spices. Eastern medicine has known. So when you look at spices, and let's use cloves, for example, 300,000. So this doctor, back in the 80s, working for the National Anti-Aging Institute, said, if we have concoctions, water with cloves, or you eat cloves, this is healthy for you. Cinnamon, 260,000. When I compare it to a pomegranate, which is one of our greatest fruits, it's 10,000. Maybe if I talk about broccoli, it'll be another 1,000. So the future will be knowing these numbers. Like, oh, no. Please put cloves, cinnamon, and oregano. Oregano is one of the most antibiotic, natural things that we have. It's up there in also the 200,000. When I get like, is there a cold coming? A little drops of oregano in my water or my pomegranate shots that I do. And you know what? The next day I wake up and I'm golden. So we're going to be in trend. The trend is going to be, the future is going to be, how much antioxidants can I have in my diet? Not how much can I take away. That's going to be such old news. People are going to look back and, it's like, I'm doing a lot of protein, or, I'm eating no carbs, and, fat. Oh my goodness. No, you're going to need to eat them. You're just going to need to know how to eat them. The right percentage of carbs, the right percentage of protein, and now, nowadays, if you don't want to come see me, I'm booked. If I can't see you, whatever, there's other dietitians. But if you can't get to one, bottom line, ChatGPT it. Actually put in your height, your weight, your age, and figure it out. It's all there for you today. You can figure out how many grams of carbs do I need for the day, how many grams of protein do I need for the day, and how, many fat grams do I need for the day, and how much saturated fat should I have for the day. And based on the latest and greatest and all the scientific research that says that I'm going to live a healthy, long life. Now, what are dietitians good for? Behavior. Because just like I need, for example, I have a financial planner and I worship the ground that he walks on, right? Because I need him. I don't need a dietitian in my life. I need a financial planner in my life. I need a trainer in my life. So you have to figure out what kind of human you are and say, yeah, I have no control over my food. And my food governs me, and that's a problem because you need to have a good relationship with food. Once you have a good relationship with food, and this is, one of the things that I do is when I have an overeater who's an emotional eater and tells me, you don't understand, I bought the cookies, and we all know which ones I'm talking about. I mentioned them in... It's my favorite too. So these cookies, you just can't stop eating them because they're so good, right? And I ate the whole bag and I felt so bad. 5 minutes after, when people finish eating what they ate, they're like, why did I do this? So my treatment with them after I diagnosed them, as a medical nutrition therapist, we do diagnose food issues. And I'm like, yes, you don't have an eating disorder. You have disorderly eating, and we're going to work on this. So the behavioral part of it is so important because then I tell them, we're going to eat these cookies every single day, 3 times a day. And I cure them. They come back to me and they're like, I never want to eat that cookie again. I want to throw up.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, because
let's overdo it.
It's exactly what you can't have that you want. Men,
That
you
is
can't.
so
You get
funny.
married. 7 years later, they want to have an affair. Why? Because you can't have it. Just be the wife that says you can have whatever you want out there. Just know the consequences and the risk. Because you may lose me. You're okay with that one?
Is that how that works?
It really does. And it's back to the cookie. So,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you can't have it, you want it. So have whatever you want. And trust me, you're going to be like, I just don't need it. I'm telling you, I was in Italy 3 months and I was like, I think I miss my home. Really? Because I spent enough time there to be like, I'm done with focaccia, Bring me
Bread,
back.
no more bread.
Talk about the book quickly, please, because
the book.
Anthony is
the
literally
book-
going to kill me.
The
Hey,
book
Anthony.
is 365 meals. So I have a book before this one
Meals
called
in.
What to Eat and How. So
Full
the
of meals.
book before this one was why I wrote this one. Que como y como in Spanish. Que como y como. Get it? The play on words. Que como y como. So that was an amazing book. I actually couldn't print enough books out of that one. But what was funny was that people would be like, oh, but you didn't give us, enough recipes. So I'm like, you know what? 365 breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks based on oxygen radical absorbent capacity, meaning these foods have been put under the microscope. They're the highest antioxidant foods you can eat. So there's no excuse. You can have healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, healthy dinner. And the fun part of it is I use the book like this. I'll go like this. I'll play like bingo. And I'll be like, today I'm having, the mid-morning snack. Perfect. That's great. This is page 235. It doesn't matter. It's day 172. It doesn't matter. I just get ideas, on what to have. And then on page 37, you have exactly, the amount. It's a chart that tells you cloves have 304,000. Cinnamon has 267.
204,000 what?
Antioxidants.
Antioxidants.
Oh.
So the book is based on the actual work of Dr. Cao, who actually said, why are we just stuck on vitamins? This is like, the 80s already. We should really be focusing on the power of medicine in foods. So that's what I did here. Basically, you can't go wrong eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the highest antioxidant foods. It's well balanced on the calories. I kept them between 1,200 and 1,500. So if I have an athlete, I just tell them add 600 calories to whatever it is. Just make your piece of salmon bigger, basically. So you add the calories from that. But if you want to lose weight, it's perfect because they're 1,200, and anybody and everybody will lose weight on 1,200 to 1,500 calories a day. It's properly balanced to have the healthy carbohydrates, the right amount of protein, and the right amounts of fats. So it's a great book. It's been fun, doing all of this stuff. And it's actually serving the community really well because when you have something in your kitchen that you're like, you know what, that's easy, it's healthy, why not,
So this BB's matcha has a lot of antioxidants.
That looks really healthy. Bring it over. I'm going to have it.
Oh, damn.
I want to taste it.
I was about to drink
You
it
was
now.
about to go
We
for
can
it.
share it. We can share it.
Oh,
Let's
man.
share it. Let's see. So BB's Bakehouse, where are
Miami
they
Lakes.
located?
Miami Lakes on Main
I
Street.
love
in
Miami Lakes. Brings back memories of when I liked boys and we used to go to Main Street and see if we can find them. Never found them. Watched the movie though. Went home before 12. So let's
What's
see.
up,
Oh
bud?
my God.
The book is awesome.
No, my brain is exploding with information.
Yeah,
God, this
I'm
is
blown. Is
Delicious.
that good?
I'm blowing my
Taste it.
mind.
Taste it. It's
Is
so
that
good.
Did you try it yet, bro?
No.
So, talking about green tea, matcha is one of the highest
really good.
antioxidants. So, everybody should be having green tea matcha. Delicious.
I'm sorry, but that's
Deli-
good, bro. I'm
Should-
sorry.
I know, it's okay. I should have done the same. I should have poured some in here.
That is really good. Can't lie. Yeah, that's good.
Let's see.
That's really good. It's just matcha tea.
Delicious. Do we get to eat these
But
too?
it's creamy. Oh, yeah.
So,
heck
what
yeah.
are these?
Double chocolate chip, New York style.
Okay.
Tico Poop emoji cookie. That's the famous Tico Poop.
Say no
Why
more.
I named it
You
because
said
it
the
looks like
magic
poop.
words.
And then this one I believe is pistachio.
Oof. I
And if
love
not, it's
pistachio.
dulce leche. But it looks like pistachio.
I'll
I forgot to
I'll
ask.
go with the
can't do it.
pistachio since I. That's,
Are you saying pistachio
No, it
because
just
it's
I'm
makes
saying
Italian?
pistachio because it's
Sugar makes me
Italian.
so sleepy.
By the way, I felt like if I was on her trip because I followed her on Instagram and she posted
Yeah,
like a
she posted
cycle
every
woman.
day.
Yes, with all these weird things and outfits. She was wearing all the
Look
outfits.
at the face, man. I tell you, boy.
Oh, this is to die for.
Show her face. Yeah, Anthony, look.
Yeah,
this,
Anthony, show
this
his
is
face. There you
specifically
go.
for Monica and George Barrios.
You can enjoy,
In
people. You
moderation?
can enjoy in
In moderation.
moderation.
She's
If you
so
let
good.
me, I'll take this home and I'll cut it in 4. It'll be like
Have a
4
little-
different opportunities to have a great
If it
time.
makes it home.
I love it. That is awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I'll share.
You have shared so
Thank
much
you, Sabrina.
information.
Yes,
That
and
is-
we didn't
that
even
was-
get into a bunch of stuff I wanted to get into.
I'm missing like
You have to
5
bring it
other
back.
questions. Can we
Yeah.
come back,
Sure,
please?
absolutely.
I'm so
Anytime.
excited.
I have 1,
Come
2,
down the
3,
street.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
And how many
13,
did you? How many
15
did you get
questions.
answered?
None of these.
None of those.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has
We
to
have
come
15
back.
shows there.
Yeah.
yeah, we got
It's
it.
an honor for me to help the community. You know, I'm getting to that age where really in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, I feel like I'm at the top and I want to help people.
You are at the top. She
No, I
is a
wanna help
commodity that
I want to help
everybody
people.
needs right now.
I want to help the ones that no one wants to help. I want to help the people that are so obese
That's good.
that, you know, people make fun of. Mm-hmm. I was one of them. Well, that's another show. You know, I was an obese child. So I want to help those people. So those people, if you're listening to me, you know, and you really, if you really, really want me to help you, you know,
How
just,
can they find you though?
they
You
can
don't
find
know?
me at
Oh.
Sabrina, Instagram, Sabrina,
you
DM
go.
me at Sabrina Hernandez Cano, Cano at the end, Sabrina Hernandez Cano, and let me know what your story is and how I can help you. Because I really want to help the ones that are very hard to help. And the ones that no one wants to help. The
DM
ones that
her
can't
people.
can't get into the shower because they're so uncomfortable. Can't travel because they're so big they don't fit on the airplane, you know. They're at a certain age and they still have never had a boyfriend or girlfriend. You know, these are the people that really touch my heart and that I'm so happy to be working with. And when I see the changes over time, I'm telling you, nothing can make you happier than when you help someone.
Yeah.
You know, especially when they have been badgered. They can't even, some of them can't even get jobs, so they have to, you know, get help from the government and stuff like that. And it's so sad to see that a life that's thrown away because no one has said, you know, and it gets bad, you know. These people can't take a bath. They're uncomfortable and then they start smelling, you know, and then they can't work. It's really sad. I want people to really understand that I am here for the people who are still obese. You know who you are. And you still think that it's not you who's going to get help. You know, there are doctors, there are dietitians who are here to help you. You know, if you're fit, and I know I have a whole line of fitness people who are amazing, and I love working with them, and it's great. My heart is full of love for people who are fit and healthy. But you know, my mush is if you're out there and you're listening to this and you think you have nowhere to go, call me. In a year, you will be so healthy, so happy, and fit too. Healthy, happy, and
That's
fit.
awesome. She's so
Be my
genuine about that.
BFF.
Yeah, I
be
love it.
balanced, fit, and fabulous.
Not the BFF. I love
And
it.
if you're in South Miami and need a personal trainer, you got
Oh,
one right
yeah.
there.
Come on over here. But I'm definitely going to recommend you to her. That's for
you.
sure. That's Sabrina. You're awesome.
Let's rescue people who need it. You know?
Absolutely.
That's what this is all about.
Oh.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Brent.